Alright, so the 29th of April, around noon-ish, okay, we got moon finishing out in Aries, moving into Taurus. We got the sun less than 5 degrees away from Uranus, within range of the node for this new moon to be a partial solar eclipse. Mercury's finishing out in Taurus, about to move into Gemini. Okay, and then we got Venus about to conjunct with Jupiter in Pisces. Stellium whole up goddamn party in Pisces. Oh my god. And I don't have this set to aspect the nodes for some reason. Gonna have to change that in the default settings, but Saturn is exactly square the nodes. I mean, 1 degree off. Come on, that's basically exact. And there's Pluto sitting at 28 degrees, 35 arc minutes of Capricorn. And a perfect sextile to the whole goddamn party going down in Pisces. So let's see, next day, eclipse day. There's Pluto still chilling. Venus, Jupiter make their exact conjunction. And Mercury moves into fucking Gemini, which is great, honestly. I think that's wonderful. And let me just move it by the hour. Let's go 6 hours. Okay. 6 more hours. Boom. Look at that. So it doesn't, yeah, it stations the day before and then turns retrograde during the goddamn eclipse. Right after the fucking eclipse, it goes retrograde. Holy shit. What does that mean? Pluto is about transformation. Pluto's about transformation, power, fear, ability to affect mass consciousness. Okay, those are just a few teeny tiny things about Pluto. Wherever Pluto is transiting, in this case, tropical Capricorn, it is about completely redefining and transforming that area of life. Capricorn are the established structures, okay? Government is one of the main things with Capricorn, but it's also responsibility. It's also being able to govern oneself, to be responsible for oneself. With Pluto stationing retrograde the same day as the eclipse, this is crazy, because eclipses are massive events. They happen every year, and they have a massive ripple. And the length of time that an eclipse is active depends on how strong and how long the eclipse occurred for. So this is something that you would actually need to visibly watch yourself, or to have an astrologer watch to see how long it actually lasts for. And we got some computer models and whatnot, but anyway, point being, eclipses bring fated events. They always take away something and they bring something in. It's both. It's never one or the other. It's always both. So we live in a realm of duality, my friends. So with the eclipse, this first solar eclipse, which is a new moon, happening in Taurus on the north node, this is definitely about planting seeds of some kind. Keep in mind, Saturn is squaring these nodes. Saturn is always, on the mundane global level, about obstruction and control. And it's a reality check. It's a massive reality check. But with Uranus in the mix, Uranus is literally unpredictable. It brings shocking, sudden changes. It's the impulse towards individuation. It is the awakener. It is a extremely unstable energy. Okay? With the new moon, or the solar eclipse, happening in Taurus, the Taurus-Scorpio axis is all about finances. This is about tangible goods. It is about the 5 senses, your body, your physical body, your food. With Uranus in there, this is a technological change, a technological innovation. Whether it's good or bad, that's up to you to decide. But with the eclipse happening there, the new moon, again, this is about planting seeds and helping us establish what direction we actually want to go, because the North Node is there. So, this is about changing the financial structure of the world. This is about changing how we value, Taurus, things in life, how we value and what we value. What do you value? Do you value fiat? Do you value crypto? Do you value food? Do you value the five senses? Do you value medicine, health? What do you value? Property, community. And community, I'm throwing that one in there because Uranus rules Aquarius, which is all about groups of people and communities. Do you value living alone, isolated in your apartment, or do you value being with other people that you can touch, that you can actually be with, right? So like I said, new moon eclipse takes things and gives things. It's always both. It's never one or the other. And with eclipses, because it's fated events, yes, there is always free will. You always have the ability to respond or react to some kind of event, right? So whatever may come from this eclipse, the question becomes, how are you going to respond to it? Are you going to freak out? Are you going to roll with the punches, ride the waves, whatever. So anyway, back to what I was saying. It's crazy to me that Pluto turns retrograde on the same day. So when a big planet like this, and I mean, when we're talking astrologically, we're not talking about the mass of the planet. We're talking about how quickly it moves. And that's what makes it a big or a small planet. The faster moving personal planets, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Moon, they're personal. They move very quickly. They do have an effect, but it's not as it doesn't have as big of an impact necessarily. Whereas the planets that move slower, Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, Jupiter, they are more powerful, astrologically speaking, because it takes them longer to move through a sign. So while this motherfucker, Pluto, has been moving through tropical Capricorn, entered Capricorn in 2008, as he's been moving through Capricorn, he's been gaining energy and momentum and slowly changing things in the structure of Capricorn. Pluto doesn't cause decay. Pluto pulls up and reveals the decay that's already there. So when it comes to structures, governing structures especially, what we're seeing is literally the breakdown and rebirth of those structures. Pluto and Capricorn. Now, Pluto doesn't directly aspect this eclipse. However, the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn, does. So whatever Saturn is doing absolutely pertains to where Pluto is, because Pluto is in Saturn's house. So essentially, Saturn is acting like the reality check for the eclipse, because he's squaring the nodes, and he's got the power of Pluto backing him up, right? So the power of Pluto, massive transformation. Pluto can be interpreted in a mundane world chart as the negative power structures. It can be, it's the darkness. It's our shadow. Okay, so don't blame Pluto for things. It's easy to blame Pluto for things, but don't blame Pluto for things. Right? He's just revealing the rot and the decay that's already there. And the rot and the decay is acting out through Saturn. So Saturn in Aquarius, this is our techno overlords, literally throwing wrenches into the plans. manipulating markets, trying to impose some kind of digital control over people. Aquarius is technology, Saturn is control, digital control over the people, Aquarius people. Squaring the nodes, this directly relates to the financial markets because the nodes are in the Taurus Scorpio axis. So this eclipse is very fascinating how it can play out. Very, very fascinating. We're going to end up seeing ultimately is a extreme change and transformation in what we value, how we value it, how we make money, how we keep money, and not just money, but like I said at the beginning, what do you value? Do you value food? Right? Taurus is the 5 senses. If it has to do with your 5 physical senses, it has to do with Taurus. There's so many other themes with Uranus and Taurus coming out, but with the massive squares that have been happening all last year, and there will be one more big square between Saturn and Uranus this year. Saturn is a very permanent type of planet. He glues things, he grounds things. He asks for integrity. He asks for you to take responsibility. So, oh man, my mind is going in several different places at once, but what value systems do you have, and are they built to last? Are they built on a solid foundation? That is what Saturn is asking. And in the same vein, Saturn is also throwing up obstacles and obstructions and issues because guess what? Iron sharpens iron. Difficult situations make you a stronger and better person. Difficult situations force you to make sure that what you're building is built on something fucking solid. So if you're not building North Node in Taurus, something that's based on tangible physical things, it's bound to fail, right? And with the role of Pluto, we're rethinking all of these things right now. Not just rethinking them, but totally changing how we go about structuring our lives, structuring our finances, structuring our assets. And you could also say in the same vein that the powers that should not be or that think they are trying to restructure things at the same time, aka Great Reset. However, it's up to you, dear viewer, as the arbiter of your own fate, to choose how you want this to go for you. On this eclipse, the ruler of the eclipse is Venus, and she is in Pisces, her exalted sign, conjunct fucking Jupiter, okay? Jupiter expands everything he touches. Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces. So you have both rulers, the traditional and the modern ruler, with Venus in her exalted position, so extremely positive, like extremely positive, and there are no bad aspects coming off of her. None. Zero. The only one is to Lilith, and it's not even exact. It's not even close to exact. It's very wide and separating, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, Venus rules the eclipse. So where Venus is very important. Pisces can be mysticism, it can be healing, it can be granting wishes, literally. It can be escapism and alcohol abuse and stuff like that as well. So it's important to not bury your head in the sand or escape completely. However, it is important to focus. Now more than ever, focus on what it is that you want. What are you trying to build? This is such a huge boon. It's so incredibly, it's like sickeningly positive. Venus conjunct Jupiter for this eclipse. Like, I cannot even believe it. Take some, like, personally, what I'm going to do, you do whatever you want. But for the day of the eclipse, I'm going to be very, very focused on my own spiritual practices, my own, yeah, I don't even really want to get into that. I kind of want to keep it private. I'm gonna be doing stuff, but it's not gonna be visible. It's gonna be hidden and for myself, because we're talking about Pisces. Is a hidden house. It's an isolated house. I say house, but I'm talking about the sign. It's not in the public view. So, and with Jupiter there, it's like Jupiter's literally there, ready to help you get the healing and the divine beauty. Now here's the thing, Pisces also has, it's also known for being the place of our undoing and losses, because it's about spirituality. It's not necessarily about the physical realm. It's about spirituality. So even though I'm harping really, really hard on what is physical, what has physical value, being in your body, etc., the ruler of the eclipse is in the least physical house, or the least physical sign. So it's really interesting. There can be a lot of like extreme hopium, a lot of propaganda coming out, fear porn coming out to make you focus on something that you don't want to build. And the nature of this sign and these planets in this sign is so incredibly powerful, and you are so incredibly powerful that you have a lot to do with what we manifest in this world right now. So for this eclipse, don't be watching bullshit online. Don't be engaging in arguments with people that are just going to be assholes. Don't be watching the markets like a hawk, because it's going to do some fucked up shit. It is. It's guaranteed that it's going to do some crazy shit. Markets quite literally respond to the moon, very much so, because they respond to our feelings, and moon rules our feelings. Especially if you are unconscious of your own motivations. God, this is getting long. It's gonna take forever to upload. Fuck. So, what's most important for this eclipse coming up? Honestly, the most important thing is to remember that there's a lot going on that's completely outside of your control, and you have no control over what the government structures do. You have no control over what they, quote unquote, do. What you do have control over is where you're focusing your energy, what seeds you're planting, what communities you're building, what communities you're connecting and linking up to, and what you focus on is what you're going to manifest. Straight up, literally, the ruler of this eclipse is in Pisces conjunct Jupiter, within conjunction orb of fucking Neptune. Okay, magic, mystic. Don't get lost in the weeds. Don't get lost focusing on shit that you don't want to manifest. Don't look at the dark stuff right now. What you need to be doing is building your future. This is the best time to be building your future. I don't think I fully explained why Pluto turning retrograde is so important, but I'm just going to leave it at this, okay? There are huge changes afoot. Huge changes afoot. We're not out of the weeds yet. We're not out of the quote-unquote danger yet. But what you focus on right now is going to be so fucking important going forward. The eclipses are going to help us direct ourselves to where we actually need to go for our highest and most aligned path. Pisces is about connecting to the divine, connecting to divine will. There very well may be things that happen during this eclipse that suck, that really fucking suck, that our ego's not going to like. But guess what? This is not about the ego. This is not about what the ego wants. We always want comfort and safety, and that's totally understandable. But We always want comfort. We always want safety. But sometimes being safe and being comfortable doesn't move us forward. We get stagnant. We stop moving forward. Like, look at that. It's exact. It's exact. That's insane. Oh my god. Make a wish, but then also make sure that you are taking practical steps forward. Taurus is practicality, right? Okay, I think that's all I got to say. I know as soon as I end this, I'm gonna have more thoughts, but those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. Focus on what you can control and work towards that. Peace.